Hi there, it's Denise with Ladybug Stampin', and today we are going to be talking about the Christmas Challenge Stampathon 2018. Every month on the 25th, a group of ladies and I give a challenge out. We have a special group, and we put out a challenge every month to get you ready for Christmas at the end of the year. Now, not only are we helping you to get ready at the end of the year, we're helping ourselves, and there's just some prizes involved just to kind of give you that little incentive. Not a big prize, but still some prizes. So there will be some more details on that on the link down below that coordinates with this video, a blog post that goes with this video. Okay, so let's get started. This month, for August 25th, the challenge is to do a one-sheet wonder. What is a one-sheet wonder? A one-sheet wonder can be anything. You can take a 12 by 12 sheet of designer series paper, and you can cut it up in different sizes, and there's lots of templates out there on Pinterest. You can make your own up and then make your cards from that. You can, another one sheet wonder is you can take and stamp on a piece of cardstock, and you can make bookmarks like a friend of ours, Ruth, does a lot. You can make cards out of that. You can do a lot of different things. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, first of all, I'm using the new Stampin' Up set called Spirited Snowman. Snowman. This is coming up in the 2018 Stampin' Up Holiday Catalog, which will go live on September 5th. And I normally don't get these kind of stamps, but I love this snowman. They're just so cute. Look at them. So what did I decide to do? Well, since I've got a stamp set out, I did decide to create my own one-sheet wonder by using a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and then I'm going to trim this. So I've already, of course, done this to save time, but I do want to show you kind of what I've done. So I've taken all three of these snowmen and the snowflakes, some Memento black ink, and I basically just took my snowmen and I randomly started stamping them out on my cardstock. Now, I did go back and forth with my snowman kind of like this, oh, wrong one, just so I could have a pretty even distribution of these snowmen. Okay, so I just kept going down like that, and I went all over the whole sheet. Okay, so we're going to pretend this is a whole sheet of snowmen. All right, now what did I, after that, I pulled out some blends. And these are all the blends that I did use. I tried to keep them as few as possible. I used green, old olive and cherry cobbler. And I'm going to show you how I use these. I used, this is the light one. And I went like on him, and I just colored his cap. And I think I used old olive on this one here I'm doing now, but that's okay. And then I went back with the light old olive, and I kind of colored them. And I did go back and try to highlight a little bit, not on all of them, just because I didn't need that. I wanted it to be more childlike. Then I used some pumpkin pie for his nose on him. Then I used some crumb cake for his arms, because they're tree limbs, right? On his skates, on his skates, I actually used our ivory marker. Try to make it as close to natural skates as I could, but some skates are colored, and mostly are white. But then I used our smoky slate, our dark smoky slate, to kind of color where the blades would go, and his little heels of his skates. I also used it to color in the buttons. And then I used the light smoky slate to do like an outline, a shadow. And I didn't want a dark shadow around him, just to break up some of that white. Just a little shadow. All right. And then on the couple, I took the dark cherry cobbler, and I want the bullet tip. It's easier for this one. And I did my cherries, my little berries up here. I took the dark old olive, and I did the holly for it to be something different. And then for her hat and everything, I went back to the light cherry cobbler because I didn't want it to match, but I was trying to keep it, you know, all the colors the same. I didn't want to go too many colors on here. I wanted to kind of have a theme to it. And then also on her scarf, I made her scarf red. You could have left that white. That would have been fine, but I didn't want to. I wanted to make it red. And then her bow. Went back to the light old olive and colored in the little end of her scarf. So it kind of worked like that. Oh, and then on his scarf, I took and I did make his like a old olive and white, whisper white, just to break up the colors. He didn't really need red in his. I didn't want that. Okay, and then I went back to the dark cherry cobbler for the heart on him, on them. Just thought that heart needed to be really red. Then I went in with the smoky slate on his hat. Then I went back in with the dark smoky slate and broke his hat up a little bit. Made that a little dark. And then I kind of gave it a shadow as well. And then on him, what I decided to do is I made his hat green. And then his scarf, I put a little bit of old olive in here. And then went in with the light cherry cobbler. Actually, I think I did this hat green, that part green. And went back into his scarf. When I got done, I came back in with the snowflakes using the Memento ink, and I just kind of put snowflakes around them. It doesn't have to be perfect because snowflakes are not perfect. If they land on the snowman, it's okay. With my Wink of Stella, we'll pick this one down here, and I just kind of went over the snowflakes a little bit. You won't really be able to see it real heavy on the cards unless you just kind of turn them, but you will know it's there. You'll be able to see it. So I just went just like that. Just kind of went over all the snowflakes. Okay, and here's all of my snowmen complete. I've colored them all in. I've done them all. I don't know if you guys can see those, so I'll try to lift one up. I'm just gonna show you. Those cute. And then for how did I cut it? How did I decide to cut it? Well, I have my own template for a cardstock formula for 8.5 by 11, so we don't have a whole lot of scraps. And I decided to use that to cut my 8.5 by 11 one sheet wonder here. Now there is I'll put a link down below to the video that actually shows that and how I cut it and everything. And basically what it does is it gives me different pieces to play with. And here is the cutting formula and how I came up with my one sheet wonder. Now, of course, on some of these where it says scrap, and these little, maybe these little thinner sides, if it was actual more, maybe DSP, I could definitely use this piece here and even this piece and this one and this one. But since I made my own and I'm using Whisper White, what I decided to do was on the scraps is I actually turned them over, because with the alcohol, using the alcohol markers, it does go on the back of your cardstock. So I thought, how am I going to use these? So I brought out my brayers and I used some cherry cobbler and old olive Stampin' ink pads, and I just basically came in here and I just colored them like that. So it's almost like cardstock. It is a little bit lighter, of course, has a little bit different look to it than the cardstock, but I did want to use these pieces as well in my design. Here is our first card. Our first card is, we've got a piece of Whisper White that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, or folded in half to make our card base. Then we use our bone folder to crease it. We've got a piece of old olive that is cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and a piece of cherry cobbler that is cut by 5 3/4. We're gonna go ahead and take this and attach it to our card base. Then we're going to use our DSP, or one sheet wonder that I created. This is the 4 3/4 by 3 1/2 piece. And I'm going to add some adhesive and then place on here as well. And then this is just a piece of cardstock, and this is actually cut at 1/4 inch by 5. And then this one is cut, Whisper White is cut at 1 inch by 5 inches, and this is where we put our sentiment, love never melts. I'm also going to take the 1/4 inch by, I think this was 1/4 inch by 5 as well, that I actually used the brayer on, and put a little adhesive on here. I forgot this piece. And I'm going to lay this on top of our sentiment. Just like this. I'm just leaving a little bit of a Whisper White border. Just a little bit, just to break up the color. And then taking this one and going right below it. Okay. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this. Then I'm going to take some of our Whisper White 1/8 inch sheer ribbon and add to this. I'm going to take some more, and I'm just going to make a bow. And then I'm going to take a glue dot, put on the right back here, and then I'm just going to add a little bow, and I think I'm just going to add it right here, down at the other end. All right, I'm going to take some more adhesive and add it to our card. Okay, so that's one card down. On our next card, we have a 4 1/4 by 11 inch of Whisper White. We are going to fold this in half, or you can score it at 5 1/2. And you guys, all the measurements will be on my blog post, okay? So if you don't have to worry about writing them down. Then we have a piece of cherry cobbler that is cut at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. We're going to add this to the front. Whoops. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of go about like this. It's only a little half a piece, okay? And then I've got our two pieces that we had that were scraps. This one was the 3 1/4 by 4 inch, and this one was down, it's a 1/4 inch by 3 inches, yeah. So this one I'm going to take and add a little adhesive. And just kind of put right here in the middle, like this. And I'm going to take this piece. I love this silicone sheet, by the way. It helps so much. And add this one to this side right here. Just trying to make sure I'm kind of even here. Yep. All right, and then we're going to take our 4 1/2 by 3 1/4 piece. Just kind of like it off an angle. So it looks kind of like a step in a way. Like this. And then I took a 2 inch circle and I stamped out the sentiment, your friendship warms my heart. I just kind of went down with it. I've also got a 1 3/4 inch circle Old Olive and a 1 1/2 inch circle cherry cobbler. And I'm going to put adhesive on the rest of this. You could use dimensionals if you wanted. I didn't want to for this piece. And I'm just going to lay it here like that. And a quick little card. Real quick. All right, that's our second one. Next one is using a 4 1/4 by 11 sheet of Old Olive. Again, fold it in half or score it at 5 1/2. This is just faster for me, guys. Okay, and then we have a piece of Whisper White that is cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then we have a piece of cherry cobbler that is cut by 5 3/8 by 3 1/2. And we're just going to take this piece here, and we're going to put some adhesive on the back. And this one actually is the same length as this one right here, so we're going to match this up. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a white border on this side. 4 3/4 by 1 inch piece. And we're going to put a little adhesive on that one. And we're going to take this and put over here a 4 3/4, or no, a 3 by 4 1/4 print piece. And we're going to add it right here. Then we're going to take some of our cherry cobbler, what is this called? Double stitched ribbon. This is 1 1/4 inch. And we're going to, I just decided this now. And we're also going to take some of that Whisper White sheer 1/8 inch. Right, so it looks like this. Then we've stamped using our pretty label. What's this called? This label right here. I stamped Winter Cheer, and I stamped the holly berry, the berries and the holly. Oops. That are right here. These two right here. And I've colored them with our Stampin' Blend markers. I'm going to use our dimensionals to lift it up. Just put it right down there like that. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I have to leave it now. As soon as I looked at it again, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that. Okay, it's a card. It'll be okay, Denise. And then we're just going to layer this one on here like that. And we have our third card made. Okay, for our fourth card, we have a piece of Whisper White that is cut at 8.5 by 5.5. Yeah, make sure that looks really large. We're going to fold it over, or again, you can score it at 4 1/4 and then fold. We do have a piece of cherry cobbler. I've already used this to punch some daisies out for a previous tutorial. So I'm going to use it. I don't want to waste it. And we're going to use our 5 1/4 by 4 inch print piece. I'm all about saving cardstock, guys. I like to be frugal that way. Okay, we're going to take our Whisper White. What's this called? Dot. No, wait. Hold on. I can tell you real quick. Hold. Polka dot tulle ribbon. I always forget that. I've got this piece here that I'm going to lay down. And I want where the, I want this, the front side up here like this. And we're going to lay this down. This kind of reminded me of snowballs. And then we're going to take our double stitch ribbon. And I'm going to lay this on top. Just on right like there on top of the polka dots. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and take this and we're going to add it to our card base. Then I've got a piece of cherry cobbler using our Starburst punch. And then this is our 2 inch piece out of Old Olive. And then this one is the 1 3/4, and it says your friendship warms my heart. I'm not going to edge this one, believe it or not. So I'm just going to take and put my Old Olive on top of here. And then this piece right here. Just like this. And then I'm going to take a couple dimensionals. Where's my sentiment? Okay, I'm going to put one here on the top and one on the bottom. Look there. That's cute, isn't it? That's our fourth card. Wait, is this our fourth? 1, 2, 3, fourth. Did I say fourth before? Final card, we've got our cherry cobbler at 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score this at 4 1/4, or you can fold in half. And then we've got a piece of Old Olive that is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. We have our final piece from our One Sheet Wonder, and this is the 5 by 3 3/4. So we're going to add it to our Old Olive. I want this way. I hope I looked at the rest of those and had them all lined up well. I don't have Snowman upside down. Let me go look. No, I don't. Okay. All right, then we're going to take this one and put some adhesive on here. We're going to add it to our card base. And then we've got 3 pieces here that are cut at 5.5. This is 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and 1/4 inch. And we're actually going to take our cherry cobbler. Let me bring out my silicone sheet. we're going to lay this right like that. Then we're going to take our old olive. It's going to go right next to it. And then we're going to take our Whisper White, and it's going to go right on top of those two pieces, like in the middle. Almost like making some stripes. Okay, and there we go with that one. So here are all our cards. There's our 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So out of that 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, I got out 5 cards, and I used every piece of that cardstock. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I love that. I actually really do like these cards. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me. And again, I'll have links to everything down below for products and measurements. And there's also a link to the monthly challenge. We'd love to have you guys join us. Remember, there's prizes involved. So click on the link below and join us. Have a very good day. Bye-bye.